Hey everybody, it's Miss Adine, and today I'm doing another doodle drawing. So in my head I have the idea of sort of a ledge or a cliff with some water. So today I'm starting with an idea, and I have my cliff, and now I'm adding my waves. I'm working a little faster today because I know what it should look like in my head. On days when I have no idea and I sit down, it takes me a little bit longer to do my drawings. So here's a cute little sailboat. And then a nice big moon. And that's my drawing. And now I'm going to add some lines, some directional lines. So I'm speeding up my video a little bit so it can be a little faster. I'm adding some curvy horizontal lines. I want every section of this cliff to have lines that go in a different direction, so it won't look so smooth. It'll look a little cut away by the water. And it's not really realistic. The water really wouldn't stop there. It would probably go around the base of the entire cliff. But this is sort of cartoony. And just something fun. So here I'm going to speed it up pretty quick so I can get through these stripes. I'm going to add them on my boat, a little bit of some wood and a ledge, and now some spirals. I love spirals. They can be so many different things. And as you can see, I went around once and then on the right back so that each spiral is its own shape. Now I'm adding some smaller ones in where they fit. And adding some circle-y stripes in my mountains and some extra design in my waves. I like to do water like that. It has some movement. So since it is the moon, I'm making some craters in concentric circles, and they're not very neat. I am going a little quick, and I'm not going for, perfect circles, just sort of, circle-like. And you can see that it's all done by hand. So now for the color. And color is always really fun. So here you can see I've sped it up. I don't want this video to be that long, a little bit over 20 minutes. So this is, a really dark color for the inside, so it looks a little bit more three-dimensional. And now I'm adding some blue to my waves. And I am working lightning fast. Actually, this is really sped up now so that you can see I'm going back and forth over. I'm making sure I don't have any little white spots showing, and I'm really just coloring in this solid and then adding some darker blue in those design lines I made before. These are the Bic Intensive markers, and they have some really nice blues in here. I was using the Crayola markers, and my set just completely ran dry. Being an adult, I did not, leave them open and let them dry out. I just used them up. So I replaced them with these Bic Intensive markers. And hopefully they'll last longer. So for the bottom, I'm using this really, it looks black almost, but it's just a really dark blue that comes in the set. And it's just a nice color. Now you can see that, on the edges, the edges aren't so crisp and clean. They little bleed out a little bit. But when I go over and have two colors meet, you can't see it anymore, so it really doesn't matter. And it might just be the paper I'm working on that lets them bleed more than other papers. But they're pretty nice markers, and I like their blues and the way the blues look together. And it's starting to look like water. So with line doodle drawings, you can do anything you want, and that's the fun thing about it. You make, your outline in a black marker. I always use a Sharpie pen. I've tried with a thicker one, and I'm not so fond of the thick black lines, but that's preference. You can use a thick black marker to do this, and then you'll still see the lines at the end, where my black marker lines sort of disappear in most of the work. Here I'm just adding some brown, and then in between a lighter brown. This one's more of a red. Actually, it is red. And here I'm going in and just starting to add some of the, like a beigey color. I haven't really decided what colors I'm using where. I make those decisions as I work. I mean, I knew I was going to make the water all different blues. And I know I'm going to have some browns in here. But I know that I want each section to have different colors, so it's not always going to be the same colors. And you can, as you work, you make up your mind, and you can always change it. That's the fun about doing your own drawings. You can make them any way you want. And being home all the time, drawing gives me something to do and keeps me happy. It's a lot of fun to, to sit and to actually create something. And then when you get up, you have something new and exciting. And I try not to draw the same picture over and over again because I want to make something new. Granted, this week I'm doing line doodle drawings all week. So it's the same process, but it is, each piece is different. So here I like the way this dark brown and orange look nice to each other, and it's a really drastic color switch from the light yellow and warm brown that I used in the first one. So there's no mistaking that it's like, a different side or a different ridge. At least that's what I'm trying to go for with this. So getting that last piece in at the bottom and working on the top. Now this is a Crayola brown. It's one of the only colors that is still working. And it's a different brown than the Bic Intensive, which is why I'm using it, because different brands will use this, we'll all have a brown marker, but the color of the brown will be a little different from brand to brand. And here I'm going through and adding a red in between. And it's a little, it's close to the colors next to it, but it's, you can tell it's different. So when I'm drawing, I'm always thinking about something. So doing this, I kept thinking about how nice it would be to go to a real beach and to see real water and to sit in a beach towel or a chair and not just go for a walk. Maybe soon the beaches will be open again. So these yellows, it's yellow and orange, they look a little bit closer to each other in terms of color in the film than they do in real life. Some of the colors get a little distorted or change a little bit with filming. And others stay pretty true. And I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it's the light I have above my table. So as I add more color, I think it looks a little bit more dimensional to me. It's never going to be like a 3D rendering because it's a line doodle drawing. It's just a relatively quick thing to do. You do have to take time to color them in. But I love bright colors. And there's so much like calm and zen involved in like just coloring. And with markers, there's no big mess. So here's the last side to my little mountain. Well, it's not a mountain, it's a cliff. So I've seen cliffs in water, throughout Maine. There's a lot of cliffs in water and beautiful overlooks to see. And in my head, this is sort of a vision of something I've seen that is without a doubt totally, minimalized and stylized and turned into, like a quick drawing. And I was thinking of doing something from the desert, but then I've never seen a real desert in my life. I haven't been to a desert. Maybe that's my next trip. So I think for my next one, I'm going to have something with some dogs, because, dogs are always fun to draw. I know people think I should do cats because I have cats, but, I haven't had a dog in a long time, so maybe I'll draw some dogs. Okay, so the bottom of my cliff is finished, and here I'm going to do the top, and going to fill in each one of these little stripes in a different color. And I go over it a few times depending on if there's a lot of white showing or not. Sometimes the marker has an even coat, and other times I've missed spots and I need to go back. It's not really the marker that misses spots, it's me. And that's the thing about tools. You can have really expensive professional markers and really expensive art tools, but it really is the artist that is in charge of making it look amazing. And here I have a wide marker that is really light, and I've decided to just draw completely over my entire sky and over my spirals. I'm going to use a darker gray on my spirals, a darker color, so it won't matter. And it's just quicker, and I can get an even coat. And here is my dark gray. And it goes right over, and if anything, it makes the gray look a little blue, which I'm happy with. But it made coloring in much quicker. Yeah, that whole thing took like just a couple minutes versus had I tried to color around each spiral, it would have taken forever. And now that I'm looking at it, I can see that I missed a couple spots and I could go back and rework that. But it's okay to have some of the blue showing through because it's sort of like, something blowing in the air. Now here I'm doing the same thing. I'm going over the moon with this really warm gray. It's a little bit more like a beige. And then I'm going to fill in my spirals. Oh, and after I fill in my sail. And I didn't leave the mast of the sail white. I know most of them are. But I decided to make this, peachy color. Okay, so now I'm going over and I'm using, I'm filling in my circles in different colors. I just decided each one should be its own color. I might use the same color twice, but I don't really want them next to each other. My moon is a very bright colored moon. And again, as I'm finishing it, I get so excited because I love to step back and to look at my new thing, my new sketchbook page. And all my work is in a sketchbook. I finish a sketchbook, I make a new one. Sometimes I'll sit and go through other sketchbooks and see which ones I like, and maybe there's a subject I worked on that I want to go back to, or some kind of technique I started that maybe I want to redo or get better at. And, it's always a lot of practice. Oh, and this is a great pink. It is so vibrant. So I like the way the moon looks in all those different colors. I could have made it more traditional with, a lot of grays and, more texture, less pattern. But I think it's fun this way. And now I have just a silver pen I'm outlining. I just want to give some definition to my moon. Make it stand out a little bit. And I'm adding some little squigglies in the background. Squiggly lines, shiny silver, things that make me happy, things that are shiny. I love shiny. I think if I was a fish in my last life, I was alive for like 5 minutes until I saw some shiny, pretty hook and went for it. So now I'm just adding a little bit of silver in my ocean, give it some reflective quality. And this is a blue gel pen, so it's not silver, but it is kind of reflective and a little bit more shiny, the ink. I'm not going to do the entire thing. I might go through and add some more pattern in the mountain. Because when I looked at it, I didn't really feel like it was completely finished. I felt like it needs a little bit more. So here I'm outlining in a sort of a peachy red color and adding some little dots. Now the dots stand out a little bit more in real life than they do on film. And here I'm adding some more lines. I wanted something to sort of unify my colors. So I'm using just a brown Papermate pen and making some, vertical stripes on some of them. I'm not going to do it on all of them. I'm, doing in every other one, so that itself is a pattern. And there's something about that little extra thing I did. Like I could have left it where it was. Instead I pushed a little bit further. And I like the way that's looking. So if you like my video, I hope it inspires you to go and make some art yourself and have a really fun, creative day doing something amazing. But let me know what you think in the comment box. Tell me if it's too long, if it's too short, if sometimes I'm not sure if I should keep everything sped up or if I should go slow. Just let me know what you think.